Wasn't giving me live chat there for a sec. Anyway. See what's going on. See if anybody shows up. Just out here walking along in my new neighborhood. If I go here. Nope, not gonna let me do it that way. See, Hippie, JBC, or JB, what's going on? Sortil, Jeff Lawson. Hi, Jeff Lawson. What's going on, folks? Another beautiful evening out here in Bozeman. So, figured I'd pop in and say howdy. So what's happening, everybody? What you folks up to? Out here walking for a while. Yep, good old Montana. You know, when I left Montana when I was 18, yeah, I was 18, said I was never moving back. And then as I got older, I was like, man, Montana wasn't so bad. Driving Jeff Lawson. Well, that's Galaxy Active. Galaxy Active's driving. Jeff Lawson's just chilling. So, yeah. So, got my new house. You wouldn't believe how expensive it is. I think I've said on video before. But you wouldn't believe how expensive this place is. How much this house freaking cost me. It is what it is, though, you know. I moved around and kept trying to get better jobs and better jobs and better jobs and just taking whatever came along. I think we all get to that point eventually. But it's been a good job here. They've been keeping me in school, which is cool. Still traveling tons for the job, which is always nice. Get extra money for traveling. But yeah, this is when I'm actually home here in Bozeman. I do a lot of walking before bed, just trying to stay as healthy as I can. What's up, Loomy? Travel there. That's a bit out of our catchment area, Loomy. You can come up here if you wanted. That's right, Jeff Lawson. Traveling on the works dime is always good. Here, I'm getting close to these little sparrows, and they always flip out. I'm walking past the field here. All right, be on a relatively major road here. It's not super late here, but it's late enough to where people shouldn't be too much traffic. What's up, Church? How you doing, man? That's true, Loomy. You do not transport well. Although we could probably talk Mr. Loomy into refrigerating you. Ship you with a bunch of ice packs. Maybe that'd work. What's up, Friction? How you doing, man? One of our cats brought a live bird in this morning. You're scared of the bird? Might nip you a little bit. Not going to do anything too terribly bad to you, Friction. Unless it somehow drug a falcon or an eagle in. Then I'd be super impressed with your cat, man. Who is it? What's up, Zebra? I appreciate your compliment, man. Appreciate your compliment. You know, I think I've gotten a little more handsome as I've gotten older. Not sure how that works. distinguished. Not that I was ever all that handsome of a fella to begin with, but I think I look a lot better than I did in my 30s. Here I am in my late 40s. So, brought a grouse into your house. That's impressive. Well, you can eat those. Just ask all the hunters here in Montana. They'll tell you all how to cook that thing up, friction. Won't have to worry about food for a day. What's up, Barry? How you doing, girl? When do you want to do yoga, Lumi? I'll show you how to do it. Show you how to hurt and sweat and be relatively miserable for about 45 minutes, and then you feel a ton better the next day. Gardener snakes can't hurt you, friction. What's a gardener snake gonna do? Give you a little love nip? You'll be fine, man. Be fine. How do you stop a cat from doing something that it wants to do? You can't. It has been a long time, Barry Hot. How have you been? Trying to remember. Probably been what? 7 years? 7 years since I got to talk to you? Has it been that long? Did you come by the reunion show we had last year? I don't remember. Man. Of course, yeah, it's not like you can expect fresh03 to remember anything anyway, but still. Excellent. That's great to hear, Barry. So what's new in Barry's world? It's yeah, there you go. Kind of get a view of the Bridger Mountains over there. They're mostly covered with clouds right now. Can't see anything over on that end. The highlights. And back there would be the Tobacco Root Mountains are back there. So you can hardly see any of it. Yeah, we did a reunion show. That was that last year we did that? Just a bunch of us old timers getting together and saying, hey, what's up? Catching up, kind of seeing how life's treating everybody. It was a really fun show. Well, I had fun, but I was just sat there and yapped with people the entire time. So, but yeah, a lot of folks doing really, really well. So it's always good to hear that people are doing really well. Still kicking. We've lost so many of our friends from back in the Wild West days that we were having. Yeah, it's tough to think about a lot of those folks. But I still see people kicking around. Socrates, the cab driver, I see his stuff on Instagram. He's still doing real well with his art. Just talked to Giz the other day. Talked to Addie Tooney recently. Who else have I ran into in recent times? I know I saw Lifa. Lifa relatively recently was doing a live stream. He was playing some skateboarding game. Oh, geez. Oh, wow, Barry, that's amazing. That's amazing. That is doing pretty darn well. Wow. Because I remember you were not that you talked about it a whole lot, but you could tell you're a little miserable with how things were going, but it's fantastic news. Nice. Very cool. Man, see? See, life can bring you a smile but you're out walking for bed. I'm glad to hear it, Barry. That's amazing. Uh, uh. Hi, Jeff Lawson. That's two. That's two. Yeah, I'm glad I caught you tonight too, Barry. That just put a smile on my face. You know, I've been so busy with class and work, and I just hardly have time for anything anymore. Seems like I get home so exhausted from work, I just take a nap, get up, eat a little dinner, try and keep up with whatever's going on, and then go for my walk and head home or head for bed, which is kind of what I'm doing tonight. I still got quite a ways to walk though before I get back to my place. What's up, Kevin K? How you doing, man? But yeah, that's outstanding news, Barry. Out living a life of fun and adventure now then? Just going out tearing the world up? It's one nice thing about where I live. It's relatively quiet. Like I said, we've got this main road here that I've been walking along here, and I will be walking along for a little bit longer. Down to an even busier road. But yeah, my neighborhood's relatively quiet. You can see it over there. That's that lighted up area there. That's my neighborhood. How far do I walk in the evening? Couple miles. I try and do 3 miles while I'm at work, between my breaks and my lunchtime. When I'm traveling, it gets harder. There are certain cities that it's just damn near impossible to go do a good walk on, just because of where the clinics are placed. If I go to Butte, I can do it. Great Falls is a little tough. Missoula's damn near impossible because you're out there on their frontage road, which used to be part of the interstate. So it's just this super duper busy road, and it's all just like there's really not a lot of places to go walk, and there's a lot of construction around there. Kalispell, I can usually get a decent walk in. Although they just moved their clinic, so I don't know where it's at in town. I haven't been up to Kalispell in a little bit. They'll probably send me up there in no time, though. 7-hour drive each way. Good times. What else? Where else is a good place to walk? Here in Bozeman, some good walking. But yeah, I mean, I'm 2-3 miles, depending. So I try to put in at least 5 miles every day, but some days it's harder, especially if you're traveling. If I'm up in Helena, which is the capital of Montana, it's not Helena, everybody. I know that's what a lot of your teachers in school told you, that it was Helena, Montana. It's Helena. Helena, not a great place to walk, just because you're at the main you're at the main place for the VA here in Montana. So there's always cars going around. There's always big deliveries coming in with big trucks, and they have a few places that are they're not designated to walk, but they're kind of where everybody goes walking. So not the best place to go walking. If I'm in Helena, I usually wait to do a big walk after work, honestly. That's where I go up to do my classes. So go up there, finish my homework for the evening. Then I'll go do a long walk to somewhere to grab some dinner. Grab the dinner to go and walk it back. So usually that's how I roll. But yeah, with cousin in Bozeman, you should come on up and visit. Professional rock climber, geez. So she's like super ripped, like those gals from Ninja Warrior. I'm gonna move you guys over to the other side, which means I need to swap my babe to the other side here. You have to look up my nose. Up my nose, everybody. Be a little quieter with you guys this way, just because this is a busy road right here. This is one of the main north-south areas here in Bozeman. So probably have a little bit more car noise, but I'm trying to protect you. She's a tough girl, I bet. Yeah, those rock climbers, all the ones I run into, they're all like super lean, super ripped. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. All of them have super strong handshakes. Imagine that. But yeah, there's quite a bit of rock climbing here. A lot of kayaking, tons of skiing and snowboarding, of course. Can't be this close. You can't be this close to one of the premier places in the U.S. to go skiing and not have a ton of those guys around. So let's see, where would it be? It would be so Big Sky, Montana would be kind of right back here somewhere for you guys, if you're curious about where it was in relation to me. It's about an hour down the road. It wouldn't take you all that long to get there, but there's always a shit ton of people headed out that way. Let's see. Is it chilly out? It's been chilly. I think we dropped below freezing last night again. But when the sun's out, we're in the mid 70s. When it's cloudy, we're in the 50s. So it's not bad, Barry. It's not bad. Yeah, I mean, there's a storm coming in for sure. See if I make it home before I get there. But yeah, it's a nice night. So, but yeah, like I was saying earlier, Montana. When I left, I said I was never coming back. But as I got older, kind of recognized the draw of why people settle here, because just everybody's relatively friendly. Bozeman, not quite as much as other places. Kind of Bozeman and Missoula are their own thing, but for the most part, people are super friendly. You don't have to worry about a whole heck of a lot of crime. I'm not even carrying a gun on these walks. Can you believe it, folks? Can you believe it, fresh03 not carrying a gun? With all the guns I own. But yeah, I mean, it's the neighborhood I'm in now. You could leave your door unlocked all the time and wouldn't have to worry about anything. But just nice quiet area. What else people saying here? Yes, Jeff Lawson. Hi, Jeff Lawson. That's 3. I am originally from Montana. I'm originally from Great Falls, which is kind of central, right in the middle of the state. Not the best town to visit in Montana, for sure, but Great Falls is tough for me. I've got a lot of bad memories associated with it. I go back and I can see the draw to it. You're like 30 minutes from camping and the mountains, and less than an hour from really nice skiing in a couple directions. As far as Montana goes, it's super central to everything. You can get to most places in Montana in 3-4 hours from Great Falls, which for Great Falls or for Montana, that's not bad. That's not bad. I went up to my nephew's graduation up in Great Falls. Was it last weekend? Yeah. I drove. Was that last weekend or was that the weekend before? God, I don't know anymore. I don't know. But yeah, I drove to and from in the same day, so 3.5 hours each way. Actually took a little longer coming back because we got really shellacked with a really bad rainstorm, so there was standing water all over the interstate coming back. So a couple of hairy moments, but so 3-4 hours in Montana is kind of you can drive there and back to somewhere that's 3 or 4 hours away, just because it's such a big state. Yes, Barry. Bozeman has gotten a lot bigger. When my brother went to college down here, I would go and come and visit him when I was home from my Army time. And where the mall is in Bozeman, Barry? That's just kind of where the town ended, was kind of right by the mall. There's a little bit of housing on the back side of it, but I mean, it extends 5-6 miles past that now. There's a few farms between Belgrade and Bozeman, but I mean, there's not a lot of empty land there between the two towns now. And Belgrade used to be the kind of the cottage town for Bozeman. Like people that didn't want to live in the college town, since it's a college town, they'd go out to Belgrade. Belgrade's big too now, so yeah, the whole area's exploded. Thanks, Yellowstone, the show. Cordless hole punch. Glenn from Australia. Who's Glenn? What was it? Did he just go by Glenn? I'm sure he stopped by my show every once in a while. But thank goodness he had successful surgery. That's awesome. See if I can do this. Refill my vape while I'm chitter chatting with you guys here. We did it. We did it. Yay, everybody. Oh, okay, yeah. I just turned into my neighborhood. So we walked from over nope, wrong way. Nope. That was right. So we walked from where I started the show was over here somewhere. We walked all the way around. So I just turned back into my neighborhood now. Yeah, Drop Bear. Yeah, I remember Drop Bear. So, oh, good. Good. Well, he's doing better than he was then. But yeah, I remember Drop Bear. So yeah, we probably walked. Oh, what's that? I don't know how long's the show been going. That's a better 20 minutes, mile and a half, maybe. But yeah, just yeah, we're definitely gonna get hit with the storm here in a minute. It has crept up on top of me here. I don't do shows very often anymore, Barry. I've gotten so busy with work and school and everything that I've gotten myself into the last couple of years that I'm rarely, if ever, on. It's just I happen to be out walking. I was like, man, I haven't done anything since TJ's show. I need to get on. Made a good strawberry yogurt, everybody. So I've been doing 3% of the TPA Greek yogurt, 2% of Flavor West yogurt, and then I threw 2% of strawberry cheesecake in just cause. The Wonder Flavor strawberry cheesecake, so good. And then 3% of that new TPA strawberry splash, which is a phenomenal flavor. Then I did 3 drops of the golden kiwi by, this is all 30 mil. 3 drops of the golden kiwi by Flavora. So yeah, really good strawberry yogurt. I should probably swap you guys back to the other side since the cars are going to be coming from that way. You guys don't get any scenery over there though. At least this way, you got the mountains in the background over there. All that's over on this other side is a fence. Yeah, the kiwi brightens up that strawberry quite a bit, and it gives it almost like a little candy vibe berry. The golden kiwi by Flavora, if you need something to have like a little bit of like gummy candy type flavor, that's a really good flavor to have. And you only have to use a couple drops at a time because it's strong, like all of Flavora's stuff. So yeah, that golden kiwi. It's pricey, but man, is that stuff worth it. In my mixing, these days I probably use less than 25 flavors. I've got like 3,000 of the damn things sitting on the shelf, and I probably use less than 20 of them for my everyday mixing these days. So I'll just bounce around. I'm like, all right, I want a lemon yogurt. I want a raspberry lemon meringue pie. I want a strawberry lemon meringue pie. I want straight lemon meringue pie. I want Addie's yogurt. I want Addie's custard. I swapped out most of my custard usage from just different combinations of stuff. I pretty much just use like 3% Wonder Flavors vanilla custard these days. it's so good on it's so good by itself. Why am I putting myself through, trying to figure out all these combinations? I'm not doing mixing shows currently. Um, I'll just I'll use something that's good off the shake and good out of the bottle. So shout out to Frank from Wonder Flavors for putting together probably the best, to me probably the best just straight vanilla custard. It's absolutely wonderful. It gets better as it steeps, but you really don't need to steep it. So only cow. Thanks, Jeff Lawson. Hi, Jeff Lawson. That's four. Trying to show you four. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've got shelves of flavors sitting there that I don't do anything with. If I get back into mixing shows once all the school's wrapped up, um, I mean that's not ending anytime soon. I think I just signed up for, was it a 5-part course? Each course is 3 months, so it's another year and some change that I'll be doing that. Um, that one's mostly online. There's a few things I have to go in for, but then I've got a million things coming up. My buddy Sean, who was in Spokane, we did a fundraiser for him. He had a veterans charity. He's the guy who actually got me started on vaping, everybody. He's getting married next weekend over in Spokane, so I have to drive back over to Spokane next weekend, be the best man at his wedding. So I'm happy to do that. I haven't been to Spokane since last year. When I moved to Spokane, I wasn't terribly happy about it, but the job was a lot better. And then you live in Spokane and you find out this town's kind of awesome. And we don't want a lot of people knowing about it. So I want to fall in love with that town. I love Spokane. It's such a cool town. So much kind of low-key stuff going on. They've got great concert venues, really good restaurants, really good restaurants. Pretty much any store you could imagine. And one of the funny things about that town is, like, as soon as the sun goes down, like, everybody just goes home. So there's tons of stuff open, and there's not a big line to go do it. So, half the time I'd wait till, 8, 9 o'clock at night to go do my grocery shopping or to go run an errand, because nobody's going to be out. I'll be able to walk in and out of wherever the hell I'm going. Yeah, Spokane's a hell of a town. Hell of a town. I enjoyed it a lot. Enjoyed my time there. What that's everybody saying? Am I on Discord? I am. I hardly ever get on it. I just, with the kind of the position I'm in and the job I'm doing now, I don't go on social media a whole heck of a lot. When I was younger and more irresponsible, I could get away with a lot more. But just kind of, it's one of those things I kind of knew when I was coming into this job, that had to be a bit more cautious about things I say and do as far as online activities go. But yeah, I mean, I still, doing fundraisers, stuff like that. Eventually might get back into trying to do a mixing show. The way things are going with vaping right now, who knows what the state of it will be. I mean, everything these days is pods. There's a few rebuildables starting to make a comeback. I've been seeing more people with tanks around, which I think is cool. I'd rather have people on sub-ohm tanks than pods any day of the week. throwing away a little coil versus throwing away all the, you know, a whole great big huge thing of fucking plastic. You know, lithium batteries and God knows what else is in all those. So, in those disposable vapes. So yeah, I'd much rather see people doing. There we go. Now they're past me. I'd much rather see people doing rebuildables. I mean, you save so much money too, you know, doing rebuildables. I think I've still got. I think one of my Lumi braids is still lasting forever at this point. It's one of Lumi's stainless braids is still going. 5mm single coil. I think it's 4 or 5 wraps. It's super low, nice and hot. Spits at me every once in a while. You know how I like my women. Nice and hot, spits at me every once in a while. But yeah, it's fantastic. And yeah, I just burn it off, re-anodize the coil, you know, put a little drop of water on it, and that's that. So, what's everybody saying? You still have all your drops? Yeah, I've still got bunches and bunches of atomizers I can rebuild. I've still got 3 extra GARs. Got all my mechanicals. Yeah, Lumi. So good job on your braids, Lumi. But yeah, I mean, I've got enough gear to last through the vapocalypse. I've got enough nicotine to last me forever and a day. So barely cracked into any of it because I'm not vaping nearly as much either. You know, I vape when I'm out on my walks, but I vape if I'm just vegging out on the couch. But you know, I'm chained to a desk 8 hours a day in a 8.5 hour work day. So not a lot I can, not all that many chances, but I get my breaks and I get my lunch. So generally I'll get my break, you know, 15 minutes, but I'm usually concentrating on being out stepping, putting some distance in. All right. You know, trying to do somewhere between 10 and 20,000 steps a day. I don't have a step tracker, so I don't know exactly how many steps I'm actually doing. I got little ass corgi legs anyway, so it wouldn't be an accurate assessment. Oof. Okay. I'll see if it shows up. Yeah, that's definitely going to show up. So right here. Where's my finger at in this video? There it is. So that right there, this is one of the fun things about Montana, just because the skyline is so big here. That's a rainstorm. And you can see it coming. You can see all the water coming down out of the cloud. So that's coming my way. That's one of the cool things about Montana. You can see it coming. If you get fooled by it, that's your own fault. If you get caught out in the rain or in a snowstorm or something. Oh, thanks, Barry. I'm definitely a tiny little thing. Ask anybody who's met me in person. All 5'4" of me. Yeah, that's one of the cool things about living here in Montana is you can. The weather might change every 5 minutes, but you can, if you're paying attention, you can see all of it headed your way. All right. All right, one more turn and one more little stretch and I'm home. And it is, what time is it? Perfect. Home and in the shower before 10:30. That's about right. So we'd be looking eye to eye, Barry Hut. Are you drinking VSOT? Nice, Loomy. Here's a little creek that runs behind my place running through here. It's one kind of cool thing. I am on a, there, no lights. We're going to get as dark as we can get here in a second. No lights on this road. Yeah, there's about a quarter-mile gravel stretch. Heading back up this way. This is kind of where we started the vlog. You guys can see my outline against the sky. Show you more of the mountains. Yeah, that's gotten really dark over there, so they're getting hit too. It's chilly enough. There might be some snow on the mountaintops tomorrow morning. Kind of sweet. Lord knows we need all the moisture we can get. I mean, we got next to nothing all winter here. So they shut down skiing at one of the places in early March, which is silly. I'm pretty sure Big Sky had to manufacture a bunch of snow. But then as soon as everything shut down, we wound up getting bombarded by snow for about a week. And then we've been getting these rainstorms. Still way too dry around here, though. I wouldn't be surprised if they canceled the 4th of July celebrations. No, this is Montana. They'll set some shit off. Just how they are. But it's... I do kind of wish they'd ban fireworks. You know, let the city set them off. Let them spend our tax dollars on that. Because people just got no sense these days. Just no sense at all. Just burning shit down, having a good old time. I don't know how many house fires there were here last year, but a bunch of injuries. You know, I suppose it's let the American people do what they want is how everybody thinks, even if it's not a good idea. You say the same thing about guns, though, too, I suppose. Yeah, 3 a.m. fireworks is the no-go for me. I'd be calling the cops on their asses. I got no patience for that. Like luckily around here the cutoff is midnight, and most people are pretty good about observing it. Last year we had just a complete asshat who was out setting off mortars until about 1, but the cops showed up on him. So pretty sure he got pretty hefty fine for that number, because they're pretty serious. If they say you're cutting off, that's it. So I think it's from like 6 p.m. to midnight. No, it's all day on the 4th. You're allowed to light fireworks all day on the 4th till midnight, but nothing leading up to it. In the area that I live in, there's a lot of rentals, so I'm sure they'll start hanging up signs to no fireworks allowed, just because there's a lot of rentals and people don't want their investments burning to the ground. Although some of them might get a nice paycheck out of it around here. That's where I started the whole show off was, yeah, can't believe how expensive this place is. I'm out here being a dumbass, walking around in a black jacket when it's just dark out. Probably not my best master plan, but not very busy around here. Cross over the gravel. All right, now we're just about back home for me, everybody. A couple miles in. What is it? 40? So 40 minutes. That's a couple miles. That's what I wanted to do tonight because I got a good one in at lunch, so I didn't need to go too awful far tonight. So it should be home here by 10:30. About what I was hoping for. Hey Sam, how you doing, man? Hi Jeff Lawson, that's an even 5. I think we'll call it good there. Yeah, fair enough. You can always call the cops on him, Barry. Has been a while, Sam. Has been a while. I think I did my... Did you stop by for the fundraiser for TJ earlier this year? I don't remember. Don't remember at all. But you popped in right at the end, but yeah, I mean, you worked till late anyway, so... But I made it back to my house. You guys don't get to know my secret code to get in. All right. A motorcycle and bicycle collection. Whee! Yeah, too bright. There we go, that's better. Let's see. See all the fur babies. There's Poppy.
Stop the charging.
Oh, be quiet, Robo Vacuum. Trying to run over my foot. That's Poppy. We got Frumpkin. Frumpkin, aka the big man. Barely see him. You can barely see him. Dark as night, bud. And Padme's probably up in her. She's got a little hidey hole she likes to hide in most of the time. Unless she crawled under the blankets, I don't think so. My Australian vacuum. All right. Turn that off. Shutting things down here for the evening. Oops. What do we got? You want the code, Lumi? If you show up here, sure. What's up, Geeky? I just heard Poppy trying to run upstairs ahead of me. Nope, that's Frumpkin. Maybe in her hole she is. You're never going to be able to see her in there. turn the light on real quick up here. There we go. There she is. Miss May, the old lady. Whew. I think she's allergic to you guys. You're okay, Mimi. Old lady May. Yeah, it was nice, Geeky. It was certainly nice. Like I said, we were kind of the Wild West then. So, but, you know, we couldn't go unregulated forever. Couldn't go unregulated forever. Eventually they were going to catch on. But, yeah, I mean, when we all had everybody had their live shows and it'd be like 3 or 4 a night. You didn't need TV. Just go hang out with your buddies. So, you know. No, we didn't do that, Poppy. We didn't do that? No? Okay. Poppy says none of that ever happened. Yeah, it's a great time. It was a great time. Now there's what, 3, 4 shows a week, if that. I know Adam Plarzik was talking about doing a show. That one just kind of never materialized. So, but you know, it all is what it is. Yeah, there's not a lot left of it, Barry Hut. Like I said, the disposables just kind of took over everything, and you know, what are we going to do? Get together and talk about what flavor of 50 milligram Nick Salts is keeping us high this week? Yeah, I'm never into any of that stuff. I see some folks doing reviews on it. You know, doing a lot of pod reviews too. Not really my thing. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense, Lumi. But all right, folks, I'm gonna duck. I'm gonna go catch some Z's. Top fans should be all fans. Yeah. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Love you all. Be good. Behave yourselves or not. It's your life choices. I'm not in charge of you. All right. Bye.